stay safely at home. So we have already done the image formation by plane mirrors and mirrors when they are inclined at an angle. Then I'll start spherical mirror, but before that I just want to discuss one small topic that I forgot to discuss in the last lecture, that is uses of plane mirrors. Everybody knows that. First use of plane mirror, generally we use it as looking glass. Then plane mirror is used in the optician's shop, optician's room to increase the length of the room. Alright, just you see how, suppose this is the optician's room, alright, and you are sitting here, and then you will observe that here one board is there and here one mirror is there, and you are asked that to look at the board through the mirror. So you see, when you are looking, then the image of the board is formed at double of the distance. So you see, when you are looking at the image, you are getting the image here. So you see, the original distance is length of the room, but at which distance you are seeing? Twice the length of the room. Got it? So that is the way generally a mirror is used to increase the effective length of optician's room. Then mirror is used in periscope also, it is used in kaleidoscope also. Periscope is what? Periscope is like this. This is a structure of the periscope. Alright. Now, and here there are two mirrors are kept facing each other. Now here there is one object, okay, and here due to some obstacle you cannot see the object directly. So suppose here is the object, then what will happen? Light ray will suffer reflection first from this mirror, and then it will fall on it and it will come, and observer eye will receive it. So you see, here the object is, but you can see sitting or standing at this position. That is known as periscope. And in kaleidoscope, what is there? There are three mirrors. They are set like this. Okay, means at forming an equilateral triangle. Then in between, if you just place any colored broken glass, and then you will see, when you will look at the colored glass through the mirrors, then you will see this will produce different kind of pattern. That is known as kaleidoscope. So plane mirror is used in periscope, plane mirror is used in kaleidoscope. Plane mirror is used in solar cooker and solar heater also. Just to reflect the sunlight, plane mirror is used. So these uses of mirrors, the diagrams you don't have to draw. The 4 uses of plane mirror you must write in the study material copy, and please learn it. Now I am coming to spherical mirror. From the name only one can make out spherical mirror means what? The mirror which is a part of a sphere. So suppose you are having a sphere. Alright, now if you take the mirror like this, you see here how I have taken the mirror, that this dash means this portion is what? This side is silvered, alright, opaque side, and this side is the reflecting surface. Alright, then this mirror is known as the spherical mirror. Again, suppose you have taken the mirror which is part of the sphere, but you have taken the mirror in such a manner that inside surface is the silvered surface, polished surface, and outside surface is the reflecting surface. Then this is also a spherical mirror. Alright, so what is a spherical mirror? The mirror which is a part of a sphere is known as spherical mirror. Alright, or the reflecting surface which is a part of a sphere is known as the spherical mirror. Now spherical mirror, there are two types of spherical mirror. So consider this spherical mirror whose inner surface is reflecting. Then this is known as concave mirror. Alright. This kind of mirror whose inner surface is reflecting is known as the concave mirror. So this is a concave mirror. But the mirror whose outer surface is reflecting, that is known as convex mirror. Now you see the term concave and convex I hope everybody knows. Concave means it is bulging in, and convex means it's my same hand. Okay, when I am setting the hand like this, means you see it is bulging in, then that is known as concave surface. But when I set my surface hand like this, alright, it is bulging out, then that is known as convex surface. So concave mirror means the mirror which is bulging in, and in this case the inner surface of the sphere is the reflecting surface, and in case of convex mirror the outer surface of the sphere is the reflecting surface. Alright, so you don't have to learn the definition of the spherical mirror and the concave and convex mirror. You just need the concept and you should be able to draw the mirror. Okay, now we will learn about different terms related with the concave and convex mirror, means spherical mirrors. Now the different terms associated with the mirrors. So here I have taken one concave mirror. This is a concave mirror, and this one it is a convex mirror. So here you see the shaded portion is the mirror. Alright, because rest of the part I have drawn by dotted line, means I just want to represent that this mirror is the part of this entire sphere. Alright, so that's why the shaded, this portion is drawn dotted. Clear? Now the first term is center of curvature. All these terms you don't have to learn the definition, only you need the concept and you should be able to represent it in the diagram. Means you should be able to draw that particular diagram. Okay, now what is center of curvature? Center of the sphere of which the mirror is the part is known as the center of curvature. So here you see center of curvature is C. Here also center of curvature is C. Center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part is known as the center of curvature. Then next one is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature, we define it as radius of the sphere of which the mirror is a part. Radius of the sphere. So how to draw the radius? From the point C, you join a point on the mirror. Okay, so radius of curvature, here it is PC. Clear? Radius of the sphere of which the mirror is the part is known as the radius of curvature. The next one is pole. This is an important concept, pole. What is pole? The midpoint of the reflecting surface. Alright, here you see, this is the reflecting surface. Now, P is the midpoint of the reflecting surface. Okay, so this is known as the pole. P is the pole. P is the midpoint of the reflecting surface. Alright, or we say this way also sometimes, geometric center of the reflecting surface. And the simple meaning is the midpoint of the reflecting surface is known as the pole. Then next concept is principal axis. Alright, what is principal axis? The line joining the pole and the center of curvature. Means if you extend this line, okay, the line joining the pole and the center of curvature is known as the principal axis. Alright, so what is the principal axis here? PC is the principal axis. So here you see, when you are writing radius of curvature, you give a bar only. Why? Because this is a limiting length. But when you are writing principal axis, then give the line sign. You know, line can be extended in both the direction till infinity. So what is the principal axis? The line PC. This is the symbol for line. Okay, this is the symbol for line segment. You have learned, I hope so, in mathematics. So radius of curvature is PC, principal axis also PC. But what is the difference? Here PC is the line segment, but here PC is the line. Okay, and what is principal axis? The line joining the pole and center of curvature of the sphere is known as the principal axis. Next concept is next physical term you have to know related with concave and convex mirror is focus. Alright, focus F. We denote it focus or focal point. Sometimes we call it as focal point also. Okay, you have to understand that. Now before that, I will prefer to give you the instruction how to draw the mirror. Alright, you should use a pencil compass. Alright, now you are having the ruled line. So you take the advantage of the ruled line. Alright, first of all you should do this. Along one ruled line, draw a line. What I said, what is the instruction I have given? Along one ruled line, draw a line. Is that clear? Then you take a pencil compass and take 6 centimeter radius. Alright. So suppose my hand, this is the pencil compass. So you center on the line and then you draw a curve like this. Means you will take how much I said? That 6 centimeter radius. And then you will draw the curve like this. When you will draw the curve, then take care above the number of lines and below the number of lines. Means this length and this length you make it equal. Alright. Means you are using the ruled line. So suppose these are 4 ruled line you have taken above, then down also 4 ruled line. Okay. So this is the way you must draw the concave mirror. And for convex mirror, how we will draw? Again you take a radius of 6 centimeter. 6 centimeter is the moderate one. Okay, 6 centimeter radius if you take, then you can draw the image formation very easily. That's why I am telling this measurement. 6 centimeter radius, and then draw the curve. And when you will draw the curve, take care above the principal axis the number of lines you are covering, the same number of lines you cover down also. Means this length and this length you make it equal and take the advantage of the ruled line. And then for convex mirror, you know that inner surface is silvered. So don't forget to give these shaded symbols. Alright. So this is a concave mirror. This is a convex mirror. So please follow and follow the instruction how to draw the diagram what I am saying. So what I said, along one ruled line, draw a line, take a 6 centimeter radius, center the pencil compass, draw an arc. When you are drawing the arc to the left side, then it will be a concave mirror, and centering one point. When you will draw it to the other side, then it will be a convex mirror. And then mark the point, mark the center and name it as C. And the line will intersect the mirror at one point, that will be marked as pole. Okay. Then what you will do? You see here what you have taken, PC as 6 centimeter. Alright. Now at a distance of 3 centimeter, means the midpoint of PC, you mark it as F. Alright. Which one will be marked as for F? Midpoint of PC. So that's why I said if you take it 6 centimeter, then at a distance of 3 centimeter, you must mark the focus. Alright. Mark it focus, and then I am telling you how to draw the diagram and what is the definition of focus. So this is the first and second step. The next step is you take two parallel rays which are parallel to the principal axis. Alright, means again another ruled line, along one ruled line you draw this two line. Then automatically it will be a straight line. Okay, I have drawn on the white one and I have not used a scale, so it may not look like a straight line. So but you please do that. Then you see what will happen when a parallel beam of rays fall on a mirror. Then after reflection, they meet at a point on the principal axis. This point is known as the focus. When a parallel beam of rays fall on a mirror, after reflection, they meet at a point on the principal axis, which is known as focus. Alright, you must draw the diagram and practice it, and as I said, use a scale. Okay, now this time I am using a scale. So this is for concave mirror. After reflection, you see the arrows. Don't forget to give the arrows, otherwise it will not be a ray diagram, because ray means it should have an arrow. So ray is falling on the mirror, so incident ray, this arrow, and then after reflection meeting at the point, so this is the direction of the reflected rays. Now for the convex, what will happen when a parallel beam of rays fall on the mirror parallel to the principal axis, parallel beam of rays parallel to the principal axis fall on the mirror. Then you see how I am drawing the diagram. I have drawn the parallel beam till the mirror. Then you must do this. Focus and the point of incidence, you hold the scale and then you join it. When you will join, then behind the mirror, draw it by a dotted line. In front of the mirror, a solid line. So you see how the light ray is suffering reflection along this line. Now same thing for the down one also. Hold the scale so that focus and the point of incidence you can join. And then how to join? Behind the mirror it should be dotted line, in front of the mirror solid line. So you see what is happening. A parallel beam of rays when fall on a convex mirror, they appear to diverge from a point on the principal axis. For concave mirror, what I said, they meet at a point on the principal axis. But for convex mirror, they appear to diverge. Look at the reflected ray, they are diverging. They appear to diverge from a point on the principal axis, which is known as focus. Alright, so from this concept of focus, these two diagrams you must draw and practice. Alright, here I am just making it straight as I have got the scale, so I am making it straight. Okay. And give the arrows. Alright, so these two diagrams for focus you must draw and practice. Whatever I am saying verbally you don't have to write, but for spherical mirror diagrams are very important. So you should draw every diagram in your study material notebook. So this is the concept of focus. Then next concept is focal length. Focal length we denote it by small f. Focus we denote it by big F, and when it is focal length we denote it by small f. Focal length is the distance between pole and focus. Alright, what is focal length? Distance between pole and focus means if you consider the line PF, then this is known as focal length. Alright, then next important point is the relation between radius of curvature and focal length. Here you see I said PC is the radius of curvature and PF is the focal length. And while drawing the diagram, what instruction I have given to you? That F is the midpoint of PC. Alright. So as F is the midpoint of PC, so what you can write here, you see that R is equal to twice F. This is the relation between radius of curvature and focal length of a spherical mirror. It is true for both concave and convex. Okay. And what is focal length? I said focal length is the distance between pole and focus. Distance between pole and focus is the focal length. And what is the relation between radius of curvature and focal length? Radius of curvature is equal to twice the focal length. Now next question arises.
আরে তুমি ওটা করনি, ফোকাস করনি?
হ্যাঁ করেছি।
না করনি তো, এমনি এমনি হচ্ছে। অটো ফোকাসের ওই সাইনটা আসেনি পাশে।
কেন আসেনি? ওটা তো। Now next is how the reflection takes place in a concave or convex mirror. So suppose you have taken one concave mirror. Alright, so as I said, I am drawing the diagram like this, but you must follow the instruction. What is the instruction I have given? That along one ruled line, draw one line, then take a radius of 6 cm, center on the line, mark it as C, and then draw the mirror. Alright, and then it will intersect the mirror at a point, that will be as pole, and the midpoint is focus. Alright, means at a distance of 3 centimeter you will mark the point F. Now suppose one ray falling on the mirror. Okay, now it is not parallel to the principal axis. If it is parallel to principal axis, then what will happen? It will pass through focus, we know. But suppose it is not parallel to the principal axis. One ray AB is falling on the mirror at the point B. Then how you will draw the reflected ray? You have to, and you know, in case of plane mirror, how you draw the reflected ray? For suppose this is the incident ray and it is asked that you draw the reflected ray. Then what you do? You first draw the normal, isn't it? So here also you need to draw the normal. So how we draw normal for spherical mirror? Very, very important concept. The normal is drawn by joining point of incidence with the center of curvature. Means BC is the normal. BC is the normal for spherical mirror. Alright. Means the point of incidence you have to join it with the center of curvature. Then it will give you the normal. How the concept is coming, how I can claim that BC is the normal? Then the concept is coming from this. You see here, if you take a part of the mirror at the point B, then it will look like a tangent, isn't it? Suppose I have taken this small portion at the point B. Then you see it is looking like a tangent, isn't it? And you know BC is the radius of curvature. So you see tangent and radius, they are perpendicular to each other. Everybody knows in mathematics we have learnt it in a circle. For a circle, always the tangent and radius passing through the point of the tangent, it is perpendicular to each other. So from that concept it is coming how to draw the normal for a spherical mirror. Join the point of incidence with center of curvature. I repeat, how to draw the normal for spherical mirror. Join the point of incidence with the center of curvature. So you see, if this is the normal, then this is the angle of incidence. Then what you will do? You will draw a angle here which is equal to I. Alright, because according to laws of reflection, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So you draw I equal to R. Alright, angle I equal to angle R. Then this line will give you the reflected ray. Is that clear? Now for convex mirror. For convex mirror, how to draw the diagram? Exactly in the same manner only. Means if this is the convex mirror, first of all you will draw the principal axis, then center of curvature 6 cm radius, draw the mirror, mark P, then mark F. Alright. Now suppose one ray is falling on the mirror like this. Okay, suppose this is AB. Then what you have to do? You have to draw the normal. How to draw the normal? What I said, join the point of incidence with the center of curvature. So here, center of curvature as it is behind the mirror. So you draw it by a dotted line and then extend it. So you see this is the normal. Alright, extended CB is the normal. So this is the angle of incidence. Then here you draw another angle I equal to R. So that will be the reflected ray. Is that clear? So in this case we are getting two concepts. How to draw the normal, alright, and any light ray passing through the center of curvature, what will happen? Means suppose you are having a concave mirror and this is the center of curvature and the light ray, it is passing through the center of curvature. What does it mean? The light ray, it is falling on the mirror with an angle of incidence 0. Means it is known as the normal incidence. So when the light ray is suffering normal incidence, then what is the angle of incidence? 0. So what is the angle of reflection? 0. Means the light ray will retrace the same path. Alright. So two concepts you have got. I repeat, how to draw the normal, join the point of incidence with the center of curvature. Alright. Then second concept, what you are getting, any light ray passing through the center of curvature, what it will do? It will retrace the same path, means it will reflect back along the same line or same path. Okay, so this concept of center of curvature you must remember. Next one is image formation by spherical mirror. Now we know that whenever we want to draw the ray diagram for image formation, then at least 2 rays we need. Alright. Now in case of spherical mirror, which are the rays we prefer to consider while drawing the image formation? Okay. Means we prefer the ray which is parallel to the principal axis. Alright. Which ray we prefer? First, this is the first option. A ray which is parallel to principal axis. After reflection, it will pass through focus. Alright. Then, second option means which ray we can take if a ray is passing through focus. Then what will happen? After reflection, it will become parallel to principal axis. So this is the second type of ray we prefer for image formation. What is the first type of ray? A ray parallel to principal axis. After reflection, passing through focus. Then another ray passing through focus. After reflection, will become parallel to the principal axis. And the third kind of ray is this, means a ray which is passing through the center of curvature. Any ray passing through the center of curvature. What will happen? The ray will retrace the same path. So out of this first, second and third rays, any 2 rays generally we consider for the image formation. Alright. So these diagrams also you must draw properly in the study material notebook. Thank you girls.